right. So it's up and live now, but give me just a second here. I'm about to share the link on Facebook because it's on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube. Share. Copy link.
North Carolina AT&T. You got people there? Or you went there?
A&T. I went there for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Greensboro in the house. Uh,
See here. Split this up. Let's see.
Desmond on here. What up, Desmond?
What up, Des?
what's going on, Desmond?
Stinking ass.
All right, so the link is up. We are shared to Facebook. I tagged both y'all in it. I think we lost Jackson.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
here. Are we still here? I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
here.
All right, we
Okay.
got
Okay.
Let's
I
see.
was trying to accept the Facebook thing, but yeah.
what the hell?
Oh.
All right.
All right, so here we go. I'll do the introduction on this one.
Okay, go ahead, run that.
Let me handle. Let me handle this one
Go
since we
ahead, run
part of the
that.
debate.
Run that.
All right, this is the first ever. Hold on, let me get the audio going on this one too. That way I have it saved as a backup. That way we can always remind Mark Jackson of how wrong he was. But all right, what's up, everybody? This Lee and Rick from Men Talk 2, the podcast, coming at you with our very first sports topic edition. And we got super crazy. Nah, my dog, he a real sports fan though. Mark Jackson know a little bit about air sports, so I give him that. But he wrong on this one. But they
Damn,
want to
let him go his
debate.
point. Let him
They
argue his
want
point.
he wants to debate who is the GOAT, Brady or Manning. We got Lee, who is gonna be. I see what you mean about backwards.
Yeah, you
So
got to do
he go
opposite.
he gonna be on my right or whatever. Let me just bring him on because Lee is saying Brady the GOAT, which you see him with all the Buck stuff. Hold
Hey,
on,
man, I got to rep.
I give him his highlight.
I got a fucking rep, dog.
His Buck stuff with the banner
2020
behind him.
champions. I got my boy Mike Evans jersey on. I'm gonna be
So
switching hats through the whole thing. Y'all gonna see my whole collection. What the fuck is up, y'all? What's going on?
and then we got Mark Jackson over here. Look like he's sipping a macchiato or something. And saying that it's Manning, which I'm a diehard Titans fan, so I never say Manning's the GOAT.
Right,
He did us wrong for a long time,
right.
but you know there we go.
So
So let's get it
here
popping,
we go.
and so we'll bring the challenger to the table first, Mark Jackson.
Exactly.
Okay. All
Explain
right.
Pay,
Thank
how.
you,
pay,
Rick.
Explain
Peyton's the
how.
GOAT.
Please explain how.
Peyton's the GOAT.
Okay. Thank you.
And what are you
Thank
judging it on?
you. Okay. All right. And first, I will say that I was a huge Peyton fan in Tennessee, but I'm a Titans fan. So I was not a Colts fan. I didn't become a Colts fan like so many people, so many volunteers did because Peyton was there, because we got a lot of people in the pros and we can't just pick one and say that. So, but in the comparison with Brady and Manning, I think Manning gets shortchanged because people just say, just look at the championships, and they say, okay, he's got more Super Bowls, so he's the GOAT. Okay, but if you look at the numbers, I think Peyton is the better overall quarterback. Sure, Brady was on better teams throughout his career. He had a consistent coach in Belichick, and they did some things that gave them competitive advantage. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at Manning's best season, I would think it's much better than Brady's best season. It may be close because Brady's kind of come on here at the end, but in their prime, I would take Manning over Brady any day.
All right, so just so you know, they according to good old trusty Google here, it says
Yeah.
that it says that Peyton's best season was the 2013 season when he won the MVP.
MVP, yeah.
Okay. Now he got
NFL
five of those
record,
MVPs there. He
55
got five
touchdown
of them.
passes.
Yeah.
That's when he broke Dan Marino's let's see,
Yeah.
Manning
The
for,
yardage,
Yep,
54.
yardage. Yep.
yeah.
He had 54.77 on the yards, 55 touchdowns.
and
Um,
and that was the last year he won the MVP was 2013. They saying that's his best season.
and I would agree. That's his best statistical season. Um, like you say, 55 touchdowns, almost 5,500 yards. Um Statistically, that may be the greatest season a quarterback has had ever.
Hmm.
Hey Lee, just so you know, so I'm gonna be since I'm playing moderator right here, I'm gonna shoot out some comments. Desmond said that he with Jackson on this one. Said Tom has way more weapons. He said it's almost like the MJ and the Bron conversation.
So let me ask this:
Hey,
what weapons did he have? What weapons did Brady have that made him less than Peyton Manning? Because
hey
Peyton
Lee,
Manning had Marvin
Well,
Harrison.
hold on one second,
he,
just for the camera
okay.
side of it. Lee, slide over a little bit so you can get more on there since we on the split screen. There you go.
That way, this way.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
cool.
that's good.
So explain to me the weapons that Peyton, I mean, my bad, Brady had versus Peyton that make him the better. I'm gonna say regular season quarterback. I'm gonna put a cap on it. Regular season quarterback, not playoff quarterback.
Oh, okay, and I get that. Looking at it, I think Peyton clearly is the better regular season quarterback, and now Manning's the better. Brady has been better in the playoffs, but uh, I want to pick up on something that I think Desmond said, uh, and he was comparing it to LeBron. I would say Manning is more like Chamberlain, and Brady is more like Russell. Had the better team around him. Now, as far as the weapons that he had, he did have Randy Moss, considered maybe the one, two, three greatest receiver
One
of all
season,
time.
one season.
Uh,
One season. Okay,
that
go ahead.
that's I would say that was when he had his best season.
Okay.
Um, uh, Brady. And as far as weapons, Gronk, Hernandez, Branch, um, and of course Moss. So and there's others, and a lot of it's based on their scheme and what they do uh, offensively. Uh, but and not to say that Manning didn't have weapons. I mean, he did have Harrison, he did have Wayne, um, but I would say the biggest thing that Brady had over Manning, he consistently had better defenses than Manning had until Manning got later in his career.
Okay, so we're not talking defense. That's irrelevant. We're talking
Well,
offense,
it's not irrelevant
quarterback
when it comes
only.
to Super Bowls.
All right? We're
Hey,
not talking Super Bowls. We're talking regular season.
Oh,
Remember?
okay, okay.
hey Lee. So he did make one good point and ranking Brady's best seasons, the 2007 season when he had Randy is considered his best season.
It's best
Um,
season. I give you that.
but let me say this as far as like with the Peyton thing, Jackson. So people say there was a debate saying Eli was better than Peyton at the point when because Eli had more rings than Peyton. Now me, I said once again, I can't stand Peyton because I'm a Titans fan. Twice a year, every year for how many years? But I never agreed with that debate because to me, rings aren't what make you the greatest. To me, that just says you had the best team. Because we
I
all know
agree.
it's a team sport. But
Exactly.
that shouldn't even be a debate. If you're the best, why they saying somebody that's not even, because we know Eli don't even hold the pay, like he don't hold a paperweight to Peyton. But
I agree.
it was a debate that saying that Eli was better than Peyton for a while.
Well, and that goes to a point that I was making was you can't judge based on Super Bowls, okay? And the only way that you could say that Eli is better than Peyton is if you're saying, well, he went to the Super Bowl twice and he won twice, and ironically, he beat Brady both times. So does that make him better than both of them? No,
No,
but
hell no.
but exactly, but he does have the Super Bowls. So that, in my opinion, that diminishes the ring argument. Um, and that's the only thing that I would say. I mean, you can look at it, and I think everybody would say that Peyton is better than Eli. Um, Although Eli, he had his moments, especially in some big games. So you can't discount that. But going back to Brady and Manning and Brady and Tom and Peyton, um, I think that Peyton was was hurt some by um, having teams around him that he really had to carry. That was all based upon him, and some of it goes back to the draft position. Peyton was drafted first overall, of course,
In
but that
1998.
means yes in '98, but that means his team was weak because they had the number one draft pick. Tom had the luxury of, no one wants to be, if you have your druthers, you don't want to be a 6 round draft pick. Of course, someone would just be happy to be drafted. But if you have your druthers, you'd rather go higher. But that afforded him going to a better team. He was able to have a better team around him. And they ultimately had more success as a team than the Colts had as a team. Um, and I think that is built his legend, the legend of Tom Brady, where everybody says he's the GOAT. And I just kind of push back on that some. Not saying that he's not great because we all know that he is, but I think if you put Peyton in that situation, he would have had just as much success, if not more.
So let me get this straight.
Hmm.
Manning came in 98. Brady,
Yes.
the 199th pick of the draft, came in 2000. Sat on the bench behind Drew Bledsoe. His team was already ready to go, right? Is what you're saying. All he had to
Well,
do
yeah,
was
they
see
had been to
Bledsoe
the
get
Super
hurt,
Bowl. Yeah,
and he
they had
step
been
into
to
the
the Super
role and
Bowl.
then take off in his
Yeah, they
first
had
year.
made it to the Super Bowl. Well,
Okay.
I don't know if it was his first year, but yeah, when Bledsoe got hurt, he did take over and took off.
Huh. And you saying
But
Brady was responsible for that, or you saying the defense was responsible for that?
well, I'm saying the defense as well as the whole team around them. They had made it to the Super Bowl in '97, I think, '96 and '97, and lost to the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but they had a good team, uh, and they were, you know, everybody thought, of course, when Bledsoe got hurt, it was over. But Brady stepped in and did a good job as a game manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, didn't make mistakes, handed the
Mm-hmm.
ball off. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of close games. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they were helped by what I thought was a fumble that got called
Oh
back
my
due to
God.
the infamous tuck rule.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I got to bring this up. I got to
We
bring
doing the
this up.
tuck rule thing. Okay.
It was
We,
a fumble
we
though.
got
It was a fumble.
yes. What do you think, Lee? Was it a fumble?
No.
Okay.
You talking
Well,
about my
maybe by the
quarterback? No,
rule.
He wasn't your quarterback then.
it don't matter. He's my quarterback now. So whatever history he got with him is he my quarterback? No, it was not a tuck. It was no. I'm not getting you
Yeah.
that. But go ahead.
Yeah. But without without that, you know, who knows? Maybe Brady get because they. I don't know if you saw the documentary or the 30 for 30 that he and Woodson did, but he said that without that game and going on to win the Super Bowl, that maybe they go back to Bledsoe and put him on the bench or trade him or something like that. So he had some very fortunate things that broke his way that led to his success in
Mm-hmm.
New England
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Which was a team that was already set and ready to go. We just needed a quarterback as well.
Yeah, Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
exactly. He handpicked, and I'll get this because I think he and Manning did similar things.
Uh-huh.
When Manning left Indianapolis, he looked around and he said, "Okay, I'm not going to a rebuilding team.
Right.
I'm going to a team that's maybe a quarterback away."
Right.
And Brady did the same thing when he was leaving New England. He
Yep.
said, "I'm gonna pick a team that has a good team, has good receivers, line, defense, and all they need is a quarterback." And I get that, and that's a smart thing to do. And
Of
I
course it
never
is. You
fault
don't mess up
anybody
your
for doing
legacy
that.
like that.
Exactly. So, but but and ultimately it worked out for both of them. Both of them got another championship out of it. Um, but and that's why I say that part may be a wash uh, for both of them.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at all the stats here as far as Brady versus Manning, and
Hmm.
Man, Brady got him in the early years. Manning took
Okay.
over like the other half of the years that they actually had to play games together against each other. So
Mhm.
I can't sit here and say that judging from these stats, still that Brady had the better team when Manning was throwing for 3, 4, 5, 6,000 yards every year with Wayne and what's the other guy?
And Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah, I can't say that. I can't give you that Brady had the better team.
Well, I would say that Brady had the better overall team. Now, I mean, because we all know you and I, Lee, we of the age we remember Dan Marino,
Yep.
and he was a great quarterback, threw for a gazillion yards at that time, more than anybody else was throwing,
Uh-huh.
and but he had no defense.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, he had no defense, had no real running game. So therefore, he was not winning. He made it to the Super Bowl that first or second year,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, it wasn't happening from a team standpoint. I mean, they were decent, but they weren't going to win the championship.
Uh-huh.
So necessarily, the old saying, "Defense wins championships." So he had the better defense. Now you do remember when, and you'll know this, when your Buccaneers let Tony Dungy go, and he
Huge mistake.
came to, yeah, it was a big mistake, but he came to Indianapolis and got the defense right. If I remember correctly, Bob Sanders was their safety,
Yep.
and then he was hurt, and then he came back, and they just solidified the defense, and they took off and won the Super Bowl. I think they were down to. I was watching this because I knew we were going to talk about it. They were down to the Patriots 21-10,
Mm-hmm.
21-3, and came back, beat them, and then went on to beat the Bears in the Super Bowl that year. So so that's that's why I think, and I always thought before all this, I thought Marino was the greatest quarterback, even though he never won a ring. I never held that against him. I thought he threw the best pass. I thought he was the best passer.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's other things that may go into it like leadership and things like that. that may contribute to winning. But it just as far as passing and throwing, I thought he was the greatest. And
So go ahead.
I got to put Peyton right up there with him. His ball, his command of the offense. You know, when he get to yelling that Omaha, son, you know it's over.
Hey, just to interject real quick, Anthony jumped on there and said, "What's the head-to-head record in the playoffs?" What I found is 11-6 in the playoffs, Brady.
Brady, yeah.
But they say, let's see, Manning went. It was basically the last 11 matchups. Manning has over Brady 6-5, but the total overall head-to-head matchup is 11-6. Brady.
It's about getting to the big show. We already know rings is what matter in history. That's what's gonna be named as far as what makes him the greatest. We already know that. My thing is this whole regular season thing. I like I said, I don't know any receivers on the Patriots team that made a difference and had consistency that played with him all the time besides Gronk and Edelman later on when he got put into the league.
Well,
That's all I
Hernandez.
know. But come on, man. Hernandez, really?
Hey,
Hey,
he was killing them. Oh, that's the wrong.
he was
That's
killing
the wrong way to say it.
Yeah, that was
You can't say that, man. You can't say that, man.
I mean,
I'm sorry. But
He
you're
was
right.
killing it. I mean, he was murdering it. I mean, you can't say that.
But he and Gronk, that two tight end
The two tight ends said, I
scheme that
get
they
you.
ran, yeah.
Huh?
I mean, it was lethal,
Yeah.
so to speak.
You can't say that either. What the hell?
And you can't discount, even though it's brief, Randy. He came in there,
I mean,
and
but that was one
they
season,
had
One
it
though.
going.
season. Come on, one season. Y'all gonna get this man all his credit for one season?
I'm just saying, you know, and Edelman and Welker.
Yeah, Wes
Uh,
Welker. Yeah.
yeah. He had some weapons. Branch, who was the MVP of that maybe first or second Super Bowl that they won. He was MVP of one of those Super Bowls.
But it was nothing
Um,
consistent with Harrison and Wayne. And you had
yeah.
Elgin, what's
Uh,
his name?
you had Dallas Clark.
No, the running back.
Oh,
Elgin Edrin
Adrian
James.
Edgerrin
Yeah.
James.
James. Edgerrin
Yep.
James, and
That was consistent. It was consistent
Adai.
every year.
They,
So I
they
mean,
they had a very good offense. Okay,
yeah.
but if we're looking at head-to-head matches and playoffs and Super Bowls, I'm just saying the way that football is constructed, you can't. The same guys who play offense don't play defense.
No.
Not in the last 50 years.
Right.
So, um, but that's a big difference if you talk about wins and losses, and who won rings and things like that. That's all I'm saying is. There's a lot of other factors go into that besides just the quarterback position. If you got the better overall team, the better defense, I would expect you to win 6 out of 11, or 7 out of 11, to have the edge. But
But
that doesn't diminish the greatness of, who's a better quarterback.
we going apples for apples. We're not talking about all the weapons around him. We talking about Brady versus Manning. We talking about stats, right? We
Right.
talking about wins and losses, which it counts.
Hmm.
We didn't say nothing about the playoff stuff. We just talking regular season. Now, like I said
Okay.
earlier, I give you the regular season because Peyton Manning had consistency with Wayne, James, Harrison, all these receivers that he had with him every single year he was there in Indianapolis. I give you
Hmm.
that. That's no problem. But when we
Yeah.
talking about the greatest of all time as far as a quarterback is concerned,
But let me say this, Lee. So the people consider, as Jackson said, of course it was Montana and Marino was like a discussion back mid to late 90s. It was Montana
Yeah.
and Marino.
Yeah,
All right, Montana has what, 2 rings?
2 rings.
Marino had
Oh no,
none.
yeah. Well, Montana
Montana,
has more than two, doesn't it?
I
San
thought he only
Francisco.
had 2. Yeah,
yeah, San Francisco.
I thought they won more than two, but I'm not.
but but
They beat Miami the first for their first. I think for their I think for their first one,
yeah, but
but
either
yeah, but
way,
he's
either
got
way, Marino was considered in that discussion, and he didn't even have a ring.
exactly. That's my thing. That's my thing
So
is
playing devil's advocate does it, it's like the Jordan and Brun debate. You know how people say, "Oh, Brun will never be the GOAT because he don't have as many rings as Jordan." Does rings really make you the best individual player, or because to me, the all a ring signifies is you had the better team at that point in time. So when we talking about the greatest individual player, then it's Montana had 4. All right, appreciate that, Ant. But but yeah, does when you talking about the best individual player, are we just talking about that person's stats?
Just I would think it's called considered stats.
okay. I would say stats too.
Yeah,
So who has the better stats?
between
And and when we consider stats, because Brady obviously has played longer than Peyton, I
just
would
like
say you need to
Braun
look
has
at
played longer than Jordan.
exactly longer than Jordan. That's why I would look at game averages and season averages as opposed to overall, yardage or touchdowns or whatever. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Okay, you want to run
Because
it that way? Let's run it that
what?
way.
Okay, let's run it that way. Let's run it that way. And so, all right. First of all, what one thing that I looked at was how many times were they named first team All Pro, because that is voted on by the other players,
Mm-hmm.
and how many times did they say that this player was the best at this position.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at that, Peyton Manning has seven times he's been selected first team All Pro, which is the record, which is the most. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Brady's been selected first team All Pro 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets me know that both of their peers, uh, NFL players, think when they're both playing,
Mm-hmm.
over however many years they both played in the league, that at least 7 times as opposed to 3 times they thought Peyton was the better quarterback.
Okay.
I don't know how much weight you want to put on that, but I would think that would carry a lot.
To have somebody vote for me to play with them in a game that really don't matter? Sure. Yeah, let's
Well,
put that in there.
not necessarily playing in the Pro Bowl.
That don't
Not
fucking
necessarily
matter.
play.
Pro Bowl
No,
shit don't
no.
count. It don't even count.
Well, I'm not. I'm not saying that because halftime they're not even playing in the Pro Bowl. What I'm
Right.
saying is the players vote on who is, you're gonna vote
The
on
better
who's the
player.
best quarterback. Yeah,
Right.
or the best running back. So 7 times they said Peyton was the best.
Okay.
3 times they said Brady was the best.
Okay. That could be skewed because half of them, the teams, Patriots and
Mhm.
Colts, probably whooped their ass and they probably didn't vote for one or the other. That could be skewed too. So, I mean, I give
It
you that,
could
but
be.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then if we want to look at MVPs,
Okay.
seasons, and of
Uh
course
huh.
this is regular season.
Yeah.
5 times Peyton's been the MVP of the league. I think that's another record. You know, I'm not sure, but it's got to be up there. Uh, I don't know. I'm sure Brady's got 1 or 2. But I don't know how many season MVPs uh, Brady has.
All right, y'all. I've got career stats
Okay,
pulled up.
Rick, you got some numbers. Okay.
All right, so let's see. Completion percentage for Peyton, 65.3%. Brady's is 64.2. Let's see. Yards. Let's see. We're going off averages, so I'm not going to take into account yards. The yards average for Peyton is 7.7. For Brady at 7.5. Of course, Brady has more touchdowns. And let's see. Peyton has more interceptions. And let's see
Mm-hmm.
here. And those are fantasy points there. So uh, Brady's record is 243 wins, 73 losses. Peyton is 186 wins with 79 losses. I mean, their stats are pretty similar. Like
Yeah, their
yards
stats are really
per
close.
like yard the average, the completion percentage, like it's like less than well, it's right at 1% difference for the career so far.
Mm-hmm.
So
In the regular
Brady,
season. I mean, so
yeah,
yeah,
Brady really has the chance to take them numbers away this year.
this year when he play, be ready for that because it's gonna damn happen.
So if
But
if Brady's stats come to where they're higher, even his averages to where they're higher than Manning, if we're going off regular season stats, would you concede then that Brady got him? Because I mean, if we picking football, like if we playing backyard football and both of them are right there, and you got to pick one, you can't go wrong either way.
you're right.
True.
You're right.
You can't go wrong either way because both of them are great game managers.
Yeah.
Like I think honestly, and it's because I've seen Manning play longer or more times than I watched Brady. I think Manning has a stronger arm or had one in his prime. Because like I said, I had to see him twice a year, so maybe Brady did and I just didn't see it. But I think Manning had the stronger arm. But stat wise, they're right there neck and neck.
Yep. So we got
Yeah.
my quarterback 84,520 yards. Your quarterback 71,940 yards, passing yards. Completion percentage, like Rick said, Peyton Manning 65.3, Brady 64.2. Pass attempts, of course, Brady got more because he's been in the league a little bit longer. And in the offense that we got now, he's gonna be tossing that bitch all over the place. So just go ahead and get ready for that too. Game winning drives. 62 versus 56. Brady. I mean, yards after catch and all this stuff, it doesn't even matter because he's not fucking catching the ball. So that don't really matter. That averages for the wide receivers and the running backs and the tight ends. So that really don't matter. Completion passes, Manning got him by 0.1%. I mean, like you said, either one, you can't go wrong. So it's all about, I'm going to guess, opinion and who holds it because like you saying, you came from UTK as far as a fan, and you saw Peyton play in UTK, and he came in the league 98, overall draft first pick, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Brady sat on the bench for a couple years, got his life right, got his mind right, studied the playbook, got his shit together. When it was time for him to go, he went and shined. Took
And
that
never
man's
look back.
job and never looked back. It's about opinion. Now, like I said, when we talk Jordan and LeBron, it's gonna always come up to who got the rings. That's gonna be the first thing. They ain't gonna talk about stats and all that stuff because, of course, Jordan played less time than LeBron. Same thing here. Peyton played, I think, less time. Looks
Yeah,
like
He
less
did.
time
Yeah.
than my
Then
quarterback,
Brady.
Brady.
Yeah.
So of course, LeBron gonna have more stuff going on, and Brady gonna have more stuff going on as far as the thing. But do that make them the GOAT? Which is what we trying to argue. If we going about
Yeah.
rings, yes, he's gonna be the fucking GOAT. But stat wise, regular season, it ain't neck and neck. So you really can't say one is better than the other. I
So
hate to say it, but that's the way to go.
I think I don't know. I think with the stats being so similar, you not being able to go wrong with either one.
True.
And I hate to say it because to me, like I said, I think rings are more tells
Value.
you who had the better team and not the individual player.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, you got something has to be the tiebreaker, and the only thing that can be the tiebreaker at this point is the rings.
The rings.
Okay. Now I'm gonna bring up something here. It might be a little controversial. Okay.
Hold on, let me give you the big screen for this one.
Oh hell, here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
give you the big screen for this one. Here you go. It's all
Okay.
you.
Give me the big screen on this one now. Okay. All right. So they are very similar statistically, numbers wise, as far as regular season. And Brady has advantage in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Okay. But now, what we have to factor in is that it is proven that the New England Patriots, and I'm not saying Tom, and I'm not using this as a
Oh, here we
character
go.
thing.
Here we go.
Here
Hold
we
on.
go.
Okay,
I already know where
I'm
you going.
it's not a character thing, but it's a competitive advantage. Okay, we know that Belichick and the Patriots cheat. Okay, they tape other teams' practice. Okay, they've been caught taping practices. Former coaches have said they tape practices. Okay, therefore, you get uh, Russell Wilson throwing that slant at the goal line, and the DB knew exactly what he was doing and took it the other way.
I
You
mean,
know, uh,
bad example because nobody. You got beast mode.
well,
He'll fall
I know,
forward
I
2 yards.
know. They should have ran it. But what I'm saying is, uh, we know, and we know Tom got some issues with deflating them footballs too.
Hey,
So we got to factor that into the mix
let
because that may have given them a competitive advantage to where they won more playoff games and more Super Bowls.
let me interject on this one, Lee. So there's a video going around where I saw it on Facebook. It was Cam Newton coming up to the line. He hot routing, calling plays, and one of the defensive players call out the exact play that it is, and Cam Newton say, "Oh, you've been watching film, huh? Watch this," and they still get the touchdown off of it. So just watching film alone without doing any extra taping of the practices. Now, am I saying that it doesn't give you a competitive advantage? No, I'm not saying that. But if you watch enough film, anyways, you could pick up on certain plays and you know what it is. But
Exactly.
you can know what the play is, and you still got to stop it.
You can know the play and
Well,
check out of.
yeah, well, and all teams watch film. I get that game film. That's provided they exchange all that. But I'm talking about Spygate, okay, which was an actual factual thing. You can Google it,
Oh, we
okay,
know.
and then
We all
the
football
league,
fans here. We know.
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
the
we
and the
definitely
and
know.
the league covered it up, okay. They destroyed don't want anybody to see the findings, and it's got to be a reason they were going to these links to do that. And this ain't normal film watching. This is, spying on your practice, okay? Because you might have a lot of stuff out there on film. Sometimes teams run stuff just to put it on film, so you gotta, look at it. But that ain't what they doing on Sunday. But what they practice is what they doing on Sunday, you know. So I'm just saying that's got to be factored in here somehow.
Uh
I
huh.
don't know how much weight you got to give it, but it's got to be in there.
I think it's minuscule.
I'll give it a little more than
Because
minuscule.
here's the thing. You said these quarterbacks, these NFL pro quarterbacks that we paying millions of dollars for, they go out there and be field generals. They're supposed to call a play, and if they don't like the play, they change the play, and so forth and so on. Like your boy, Omaha, Omaha, Omaha. You mean to tell me these guys can't check out of a play and just run another play and throw them off? Spygate had them that messed up.
But I mean, they can, but if you know what they want going to check to, I mean, it's got to. Why do you think they were doing that? Why do you think they? And to my knowledge, they the only team that went to these links that I know about. Um, so why would you
Well,
do
wait,
that?
wait, wait. Hold on. So we got
What?
Bounty Gate. We got shit going on
Yeah,
around the league now. We didn't get
yeah. No,
just
we
the
got
Patriots.
bounties. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got people
All this
paying
shit
to
count.
knock people out.
Right.
But
It all
that
counts. What
that
length
was
do
the
you go to
Saints.
win a game? That's the same type shit.
I agree, but the Spygate, I don't know of any other team that was taping other teams' practices.
I got nothing for that. That's
Yeah,
like you said. What length do you have to go to in order to get a win of a game? that's their thing for doing it. I guess I don't know. I can't say, but I compare that the same way with the whole New Orleans thing, with the whole whatever other stuff that's been going on in the league. Folks getting injured, they shooting them up full of stuff. All this stuff counts. It counts toward that. That's the dark side, I think, of the NFL as far as uh, trying to win at all costs.
I
That's me.
agree.
I think that you go out here and take a cortisone shot. You know your shit shot to all the hell, but you out here running around on a numb knee and can't feel that shit. That's the dark side of the game. You
Yeah,
going out there at all costs, playing injured. That's the same thing too. My defensive end, JPP, playing out there with a torn rotator cuff the whole year. He didn't give a shit. He just wanted to go out there and win. Dark side of the NFL. All that shit count.
Hey,
He
Ant
said
said
everybody does it.
everybody does it. They just got caught.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's the dark
uh,
side of the NFL. At any cost, you got to go out there and win a game, and
wait,
that's what they do.
and I get that, especially from a player standpoint. You
Oh
don't
no,
take the set.
leadership on down. Fuck that.
Well,
Coaches on down.
I get it, but some of it, I think, is players have to do what they have to do to be on the field.
Yeah.
If you want to get paid and all this and that. But I do think that Belichick and the Patriots took it to a different level, and I think that was a factor in their success. Uh, and I think because they were so successful and became a marquee franchise for the league to some degree, while maybe trying to admonish, we don't want this to happen, they were going to protect them in the fact that we can't have our marquee team, uh, we can't just destroy our marquee team. So I don't know. I just think that has to be a factor in it, um, because I saw something, and this was a few years back, where they were filming. They had a film crew at the Bengals. This was before the Bengals were good. They
Mhm.
had a film crew at the Bengals game. It was like, what are y'all doing? But evidently, Belichick, they got to have an edge, and I think, my opinion, I think they crossed the line in some of these things they were doing. So
So let me
that's
ask
all
you
I'm
this.
saying.
So
Sorry.
piping in extra crowd noise, is that a disadvantage as well? Because Atlanta
Yeah,
did
it
that.
is.
A couple of
It,
stadiums did that.
yeah, it
Why are we
is.
not talking
It
about
is.
that? Why is all of a sudden Spygate gonna be the main thing that happened when all these, like I said, it ain't just one team. It's a bunch of teams out here faking the funk when it comes to winning games.
I agree. I mean, yeah, that's illegal crowd noise. That's it's all different degrees and levels of cheating. For lack of a better word. But
Cheating. That's what it is. It's fucking cheating.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you got Bella Cheat. That was his nickname.
Wow.
So hey, that's what they said. That's what they said. So um, it's all a part of it. But I don't know. I just thought I'd put that into the conversation, so that it'd be on the record.
Aha.
So
On the
I,
record.
yeah,
I
on the
agree.
record.
We 45 minutes in. I still don't, I don't think me personally, I don't think we got anywhere with this, because everybody gonna believe what they want to believe, especially because, like I said before, there's not any clear stats that can just be like, oh, this is why this person's better. Because if we go off averages,
Yeah.
they standing on the podium shoulder to shoulder.
Let me
So
tell you what
so
makes the
What?
difference.
so
Let
it
me tell
got
you
to
what
be the
makes the difference.
ring. So
The
let
rings
saying
make the
is,
difference.
you know what I'm saying, closing arguments. Mark Jackson, we'll let you go first with your closing arguments, and then we'll let Lee finish it up.
Okay. All right. Well, and first, I want to say thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to explain why Peyton is the GOAT. Um, and and
Okay.
like I say, it is it's close, and it does come down to the rings, and that's why I had to bring up some of these other factors. because I think those were contributing factors to Tom having more rings. Um, and both of them are great quarterbacks. Both of them had a lot of success and continue to have a lot of success on and off the field. Um, but I will say this again: I will put Peyton's best season, his best 10 seasons, up against anybody. And in my mind, when you got seven first team All Pros, five Most Valuable Player awards, that makes you the GOAT, or at the very least, the top one, two, or three. So, one thing I will say for Brady, in looking at the numbers, he consistently had less interceptions than Peyton, and and then that may go to his being a better manager of the game.
I mean, he did.
Yeah,
Peyton did have to see
go
my
ahead.
Titans twice a year. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true. That's true. You know, and the
Our
Titans had
defense
that
was the
defense.
shit for a while, for a
Exactly.
long while. Then
Exactly.
we had them rocket times. So
Yeah. Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah. But I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that Peyton is the goat. If not the goat, he's my goat. All-time greatest quarterback.
Now, that's what you should have led off with in the first place.
all right, Lee, it's on you for your
That's the
close.
way you should have led off your whole closing argument. Peyton Manning is my goal for my team, for my preference, my personal preference. That's what you should have said at work and on this podcast right here. And we
Hey,
would killed all that.
hey, Jackson, I'm gonna clip that one part out where he's sitting there, where he says Peyton Manning is my goat, while he just sitting there and all his Buck stuff. I'm gonna
Better
clip that.
go. Yeah.
That look
Exactly.
that way it'll come off looking like something that ain't be like be like, how's
Better know
Peyton
that.
your goat whenever you in all the Buck stuff.
Man, don't do
Exactly.
that. Don't ever do that.
All right, Lee, your
Hey,
closed
look,
arguments. Here we
man.
go.
History dictates, and history will always remember championships and winning Super Bowls. That's what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is all about. It's about champions. It's about winning. It's about the whole excellence of the game itself. You don't remember Dan Marino as far as being the GOAT. You don't remember Joe Montana. You don't remember Eli Manning. You never heard of these folks talking about them being the GOAT with 2 rings, 4 rings, whatever. It's about excellence. Tom Brady has 7 rings, one with my team, the other 6 with his other team. I have nothing to do with the other team. Like I said, I don't care nothing about all that stuff. Brady is a GOAT, plain and simple. If history dictates it, it's documented, it's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's going to always be the greatest of all times as far as my concern, or my thing is a quarterback. I can't put him against Reggie White or who was that? The
Lawrence Taylor.
linebacker,
Lawrence Taylor.
the linebacker from the Ravens.
Oh,
Ray,
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis,
How
yeah.
you
You
forget
can't
Ray
put them
Lewis,
against
man?
each other. You can't put them against each other because they don't play each other. They play against each other. Now, Tom Brady might have got the best of him. Ray Lewis might have got the best of him some years as well. But the thing is, we talking about apples for apples, Brady versus Manning. All of that factors in. We talking about just the regular season. Playoffs play in full effect, and Super Bowls play into that effect. So my thing is, and I'm gonna stick with this, and I'm gonna look at Jackson crazy every single day. Whenever he say Peyton Manning is a GOAT, I'm gonna look at him like, yeah, okay. Numbers dictate it wrong. The everything dictates what you're saying is wrong. But that's your opinion. We're gonna respect it and we're gonna agree with it. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna come back and do this again. We're gonna do something else as far as probably the greatest or discuss some stuff on some sports later on this year. We're gonna try and kick this off, man. This is what the inaugural season for us. So let's go ahead and get that running.
Yeah, man. Hey, Jackson, we appreciate you coming on. Hey,
Sounds good.
Corey
All right.
and Desmond, we appreciate y'all jumping in the comments. Everybody that watch it, support the podcast, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, man. Hey,
Yeah,
Jackson,
man.
we definitely gonna have to have you back on here,
All
you
right.
know, on
Well,
some
thank you.
sports stuff, man.
I
'Cause-
appreciate it. All right.
You know, you might say some crazy out the way stuff, but you know your sport, so you know.
Okay.
I got to
We
give you
right.
your
definitely doing
credit where
football
credit's
season this
due.
year. We're gonna definitely do
Okay.
football season this year.
All right.
NFL football. We talked about it. I sent the thing out for as far as invites whoever want to be on to talk about it. We're gonna definitely do NFL football this year and get it popping. So y'all be ready for that.
Sounds good.
Hey, Lee
All
just
right.
let the secret out the bag right there. Something we've been working on. So
We've been working on it. We've been talking about it for the last since we started. So we finna do that. Gonna kick
Great.
that off. So y'all be
All right.
ready for that.